In the headlines, His Excellency the President pays a special visit to 3 primary schools. Prime Minister announces intention to build dedicated shelters in vulnerable communities ahead of 2018 hurricane season, and Carnival 2018 launched with a street festival. Hello and welcome to this edition of National Focus. I'm Kimani St. Details of headline stories and others coming up.
I've been in the business for over 16 years. I get up in the mornings and I look forward to having the next cruise ship berth on island. When the visitor steps off the ship, the first impression is me. And I believe that I need to put my best foot forward and to ensure that everything I do it to the best of my ability. Based on my recommendation, visitors go to various sites, restaurants, bars and vendors. I take that responsibility very seriously. I would like that the guest receives the same service that I have provided to that individual or guest. This business is bigger than me. Everybody plays a role. The cleaner who cleans my bus, my mechanic who does my checks, those persons ensure that I provide a quality service to the guest. The tourism dollar doesn't just stop with me. It allows me to pay the bank, visit the supermarket to feed myself and family, and have a drink with friends. My name is Jenna Gist, and tourism is my business.
Now for the details. Students of 3 primary schools on the west of Dominica were delighted to welcome His Excellency the President Charles Savarin as he paid them a special visit on Thursday. Priska Julian was there and filed this report.
The President, His Excellency Charles Savarin, and his wife on Thursday visited students of the Dublin, Collioure and Colibistry primary schools. Noting the resilience of the Dublin Primary School, His Excellency the President highlighted the importance of the community to the primary school, as well as the importance of a proper education system for the development of the community.
All of the teachers can know each and every one of the students attending the school. The students themselves will know each and every one of the teachers at the school. The parents will get to know all of the students. They are neighbors. The parents are all neighbors. It's a very small community. Everybody knows everybody. I could add everybody knows everybody's business, but that should make for a really healthy community.
At the Collioure Primary School, an institution the President's Charity Foundation has adopted since its beating from Tropical Storm Erica in 2015, His Excellency the President admonished the students to take advantage of the opportunities being afforded to them, including the upgrades to the infrastructure.
I'm hoping that you will take advantage of the physical conditions that are being prepared here in Collioure. For the school to do well, it does not rest solely on the principal, on the staff, and on the students. The community must play its role in the development of the school. First of all, they must protect the building. Many people have come as far away as Cuba to refurbish your school after Maria, and therefore the community must take pride in the school, must not allow anybody to vandalize the school property.
He reminded the students that despite the plight of the community from Hurricane Maria, they are indeed lucky to be able to attend school with much normalcy.
There are many schools that are not as the Collioure School is today. Some children are attending school in tents. Some children have a shift system in their school because they have to share the school or the tents with children from another school. So we are very, very, very fortunate here in Collioure, at the Collioure Primary School, and we must appreciate that. What you now have to do is you have to make sure that your school now begins to shine and to perform in all areas.
And for the students of the Coolibistry Primary School who shared this rendition,
I am a promise to be anything God wants. I am a promise to be anything God wants me to be.
the president had these words of motivation.
You can be anything God wants you to be. And you should have no doubt about that. And when you sing that, you need to sing it with conviction that you believe in the words of the song that you can be anything.
The Coolibistry Primary School is also one of the special interests of the President's Charities Foundation and persists despite the ravages of Tropical Storm Erica and Hurricane Maria.
Thank you, Priska. In more news, the Honorable Prime Minister Dr. Roosevelt Skerrit has articulated government's intention to continue its program to improve all secondary roads on the island. An estimated amount of $11 million was allocated towards this project last year. Government in the 2017-2018 budget announced the rehabilitation of a number of constituency roads, including the Girodale to Eggleston Road. In a recent press briefing, the Honorable Prime Minister assured that work on this road and other roads further deteriorated as a result of Hurricane Maria are on the priority list for rehabilitation.
As we speak, the Town Council of Portsmouth has over $1 million for the road from Rose's home all the way to the Dr. Armour Hospital. They will start this road hopefully by next week. We commence. They've done the drainage and the sidewalks. We were about to sign contracts for the roads in Eggleston. As a matter of fact, they were captured in the budget. So Eggleston to Girodale, and also the Castle Comfort leg. But the Hurricane Maria disrupted the process. We had identified the contractors, we had contacted them, and we would have signed the contract, I believe, the very same week of Maria. But those of us who have traversed on these roads recognize that the hurricane has caused even more damage to these roads. And therefore, we have sent the CTO and his team to assess that.
The nation's leader anticipates that work on the Eggleston to Girodale Road will begin mid-February. Under this program, the roads are rehabilitated using concrete. Honorable Skerrit is confident in the use of concrete material to build strong roads. Work on roads in the Roseau Valley will also continue.
Some roads we have built since 2001, and we have done no maintenance on them. We're saving the treasury money. So we need to move to that. So for example, in Wharton Haven, where we started, we'll continue that. We'll be doing the Trafalgar Road there from the junction going to Wharton Haven, all the way up to Papia. They will be redoing that and in concrete and 6-inch concrete. So the road program will continue, because people still need access to their homes. The Parappa Mao took me to Upper Belfast area there, a terrible condition. So we'll continue those roads for the people.
Meantime, as the hurricane season for 2018 is about 5 months away, the Honorable Prime Minister Dr. Roosevelt Skerrit is already planning how to keep Dominicans sheltered in the event of another deadly storm. The nation's leader has expressed the need to build hurricane shelters in strategic communities across the island, especially in zones most vulnerable. While speaking at a press briefing last week, Honorable Skerrit said funds for this project will come from an €11 million grant from the European Union.
One thing we'll be looking to do with some of this €11 million, at least I won't be compromising on that one, because we had made mention about building some hurricane shelters in strategic locations in the country, especially in the most vulnerable areas like Grand in the south and the east. So we will be designing structures, and we're hoping to have those things before the next hurricane season. So these things can be built elsewhere and brought into the country. I mean, so it is not something that will take a very long time.
The Honorable Prime Minister gave some details about the type of shelters the island would need to properly accommodate citizens.
The idea with the shelters is to have a complete package where it can be multi-purpose structures, so it's not something you only use during a hurricane season. It can be used for weddings, it can be used for parties, it can be used for school, classes in the evening, whatever it is. But when the hurricane season comes, then it will be exclusively for that purpose. So you will have large halls, you'll have showers, you'll have a large kitchen, you could cook, you'll have beds that will be in storeroom, you'll have things like generators there, or independent water tank system there, energy efficient system, so that if a hurricane is coming to Nicala in the east, in the Calago territory, you can house 1,000 people inside there.
The European Union has also made available an additional 2.6 million euros grant to Dominica for the energy sector. And the Dominica Festivals Committee has been working tirelessly to present nationals with an authentic and enjoyable Carnival 2018. The DFC, with assistance from its partners, has put together activities for Mass Dominic 2018, beginning with a street festival on Friday, January 26. Kimani St reports.
The street parade, which began at 4 p.m., was led by Carnival royalty, the 2017 Calypso King, Carnival Queen, Teen, and Princess. The procession featured groups such as the Stilt Walkers, Carnival Corner, Juanita Jew's Big Bottom Ladies Group, the Coliho Band Move, the Gutter Village Lapu Cabuit, and community groups from Dalis, St. Joseph, Grand Bay, Good Hope, the Calidago Territory, and Castle Bruce. Costume bands including the Thunderbirds, Hysteria Mass, and Amnesia also participated in the display. The street festival also boasted performances from the Swinging Stars Band and the First Serenade Band and top Calypsonians. For GIS News, Kimani St reporting.
Thank you, Kadisha. And finally, this news time, government continues to invest heavily in Dominica's agriculture sector. Farmers are now receiving grant funding, which was made available by government and the World Bank to boost production. GIS's Shakira Pear reports.
An $18 million boost to revive the agriculture sector and contribute to Dominica's economy is in effect. Farmers who suffered loss during the passage of Hurricane Maria have received the grant funding, a collaboration between the government of Dominica and the World Bank. At a press briefing last week, the Honorable Prime Minister informed that 900 farmers will receive $10,000 and 3,032 farmers will receive $3,000 grant funding. The disbursement of funds began in the Western and Northern District on Wednesday, while on Thursday, farmers of the East and Southeast were scheduled to receive the funds. During a visit to that part of the island, the GIS News met with the Honorable Member of Parliament for the Castlebrooks constituency and the Minister for Agriculture, Johnson Drygo. Honorable Drygo was pleased that government could deliver on the promise made to the farmers.
I'm very pleased to know that we have started the disbursement of this very important grant to these hardworking farmers, the persons who are the stable factor of the agricultural sector on the island. As you know, yesterday we were in the north, and today we are in the east, southeast, and east. So it means that the catchment between Grand Fond and Dalis and Casabros, Pinisufwe to Concord is being covered today as we speak. So hundreds of farmers are actually receiving the checks.
The Honorable Minister for Agriculture says government is committed to working with commercial farmers to ensure food security.
The key is the fact that after we've paid these checks, some 9,000 farmers will be recognized as commercial farmers. And the Ministry of Agriculture is putting the structure in place to work with these farmers, to give them the support that they need, to ensure that their roads are cleared, to ensure that they have the right inputs, to ensure that they take care of the farms and so on, to ensure that all of the post and pre-harvest methods are applied in every crop, and that we can meet what the market demands.
Persons engaged in the fishing sector also qualified for the assistance.
Fishers are themselves receiving the checks. As you know, fishers took a point in as well, and they too are benefiting. So as we speak, within 4 days, some $18 million will be pumped into the economy and into the farming community. If anybody have a problem with that, they better think again, because it means that the government is responding to Maria in a tangible way to get Dominica back on its feet. And I'm happy that we are seeing the agricultural sector played its part in that respect.
Alberta Sorrento, a farmer from Dalis engaged in the production of toloma, bay oil and raised livestock, says this assistance will go a long way as she seeks to recommence production.
It is a good initiative. First and foremost, it will help me, as I am not young as before. It will help me to pay somebody to work for me, and it will help me rebuild my chicken house.
She took the opportunity to express her gratitude.
I want to say thank you very much to the government of Dominica for giving me this fund, because I want to say I really appreciate it, because it will go a long way. It will help a long way. Once again, I just want to say thank you.
Vivian Viville from Atkinson, a commercial farmer, received $10,000 grant funding. He was eager to share his excitement after receiving the check.
I feel pleased as a farmer because for the longest years and them I've been working hard, and then the hurricane come and destroy everything. And to start back, I find $10,000 is okay for helping me back to start as a young farmer.
He shared that this is not the first time he received assistance from government and described to GIS News exactly what he has been doing on his farm post-Hurricane Maria.
I plant passion fruit, I plant dashing, I plant sanya, I plant potatoes, I plant seasoned pepper, cucumbers, pumpkin, I do pigs, I wear goats, an intention of growing fowls and rabbits.
Viville had these words of advice for farmers.
Don't take the money and go and use it uselessly. You got to put back the money to the farm and make back produce that you could maintain your family and the outer world.
For GIS News, Shakira Pear.
Thanks, Shakira, and that's news. Stay tuned for your tip of the day.
I believe in the natural order of things. I believe in the harmony of things. You know, in everything we do, we have to keep it natural. I've been doing farming for now over a decade. My day is very hectic, but I make it light, you know, because I enjoy what I do. I enjoy producing the best quality goods and to make sure that the people that receive it, they receive the best that they can ever get. Right from the farm, everything that I grow, I process them back into the farm, so that these same things that grow in the farm is what protects the farm. Tourism is my business. You know, it's not just dealing with the foreigners that come in, but it's preparing those things that when they come, they can feel and taste the difference in coming to this exotic island. And it starts with the farmer, because we provide the things that they eat, that they taste, that they drink. I believe in my heart that it's my responsibility to provide quality. My name is Tony Alves, and tourism is my business.
As farmers are receiving their funds to rehabilitate their farms and boost production after the devastating effects on the agriculture sector by Hurricane Maria, here's a tip for farmers from the Honorable Minister for Agriculture, Johnson Drygo, on how best to use these funds.
They must use these funds, most importantly, to assist them in paying for labor. Labor is one of the major challenges that we face today in the sector. So the farmers, if they want to reach the production that they're familiar with, they must use these funds to assist themselves in paying for labor. They must use these funds to assist themselves in purchasing imports. They must use that fund in assisting themselves in upgrading their farm sheds and in getting the right tools that they need, so that they can get the yields they're looking for.
And that's all for this edition of National Focus. Be sure to follow GIS on facebook.com/GIS News Dominica and also follow us on Twitter at GIS Dominica. You can also catch up on past National Focus newscasts on our GIS Dominica YouTube channel. From all of us here on the GIS News Production team, I'm Kimani St. Thanks for watching.